everyone, welcome back to another episode of Animal Crossing, except today we're not actually playing Animal Crossing. Now, if you dig over a year back on my channel, you'll see that I started off uploading videos by doing like opinion videos or roasts, more like, on the Animal Crossing villagers. Ever since the Nintendo Direct, the 2.0 update, the DLC, we've seen that there's been new villagers introduced to the series or reintroduced from previous games. I've actually been wanting to do this video for a while in which I talk about different Animal Crossing villagers from the update. Also, ignore this in the background. I still don't have like a background or anything like that because I don't usually show my face in videos. Not because I want to hide myself, because here I am, but because my computer cannot handle a face cam, like webcam and recording game at the same time. Also, before we start, I just wanted to show you my baby. This is chickpeas, or to some, chicken peas. She currently wants to go play, so I'm gonna leave her. I talk about her a lot in my videos because she's always making noise in the background. You can put a face to the name there. With that out of the way, let's talk about these villagers. So, oh, also, you guys like my shirt. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, like, I honestly feel bad for you. Like, I cannot explain it. Like, I don't have the vocabulary to sit here and explain. Like, either you get the vibe or you don't get the vibe.
We're gonna proceed in alphabetical order. And the first villager we're going to talk about is Ace. Ace is a jock. He doesn't look like a jock, but then again, I don't know what personality he would look like. He is a Leo, interesting. His eyes, or like kind of lack thereof, make me a tiny bit uncomfortable. I don't know if those are his eyes or like eyelids or his eyebrows, but they're very strong. For it to just be a pupil connected to eyebrows, like, I don't know how I feel. I like his like cream and blue color, his little orange peachy cheeks. I want to know what blush he's wearing. And I mean, his default clothes doesn't really match, and it doesn't really match with being a jock. I want to see what his, I haven't seen him in the game yet. I've seen a handful or maybe a little less, either on villager hunts. Well, not really on villager hunts. The only one I saw on a villager hunt was Cephalobot, and I took him as a villager, it's a new thing, as a villager. His house is all green. That's definitely a choice. His catchphrase is really just his name. That's quite unfortunate. And his favorite saying, which their sayings are on the back of like, or their favorite quotes or favorite sayings on the back of their photos when you are lucky enough to get a villager's photo. And he says, if you love something, let it go, then chase it down. What were you thinking? That sounds like it's more of like a smug kind of point of view, perspective on life, but whatever. And yeah, he's pretty plain looking, like a little bluebird kind of vibe, and nothing more to it. Next villager is Chadwick. Interesting choice in the name there. I'm not gonna judge because I don't know the story behind it, but he is super cute. I think I saw him on a villager hunt. Oh my god, I just want to squish him. And his little belly button, like, they knew what they were doing when they gave him a little X belly button. He has no eyebrows. How unfortunate for him. Well, his birthday just passed. It was Christmas Eve. His catchphrase is blarg, which is very relatable. And his favorite saying is live, laugh, lasagna. Now, usually the live, laugh, love kind of vibes are kind of cringe, but, and even live, laugh, lasagna, that's very New Jersey wine mom like thing to post or to say, but it works for him. And he was in old game Dobutsu no Mori E+. I'm not too far on my Japanese and Duolingo to be able to pronounce that confidently. And apparently he had a black belly button back then. What's that about? Maybe he finally cleaned it out and there was gunk in there. It's interesting, in his description it says his eyes look tired, which relate to his lazy personality, which I can relate to all the time because the bags under my eyes are not designer and they're copious. Oh, he has an ice house. Very revolutionary as a penguin. I feel like all the penguins have ice houses. I mean, makes sense. You would want them to live in there, especially living on an island. His house is like a little, I don't know, like snow cone shop. I think it's cool. I don't really like the outside of his house, but it matches him. Chickpea is playing with some items over there. That's what that noise is. If I had to have him as a villager, as I previously stated, or like settle on him for like a last ticket, maybe I would, but also I famously do not do that and just let it autofill and get disappointed each time, so who knows. Next villager because I don't know my alphabet and I thought that C came before A, Z, I guess, is Azalea. I think that she's cute, like her little eyelashes. It's a vibe. I want to know what mascara she's using. I'm trying to see if I can get a picture of the back of her head, because I see that she has some white by her ears. I've seen her in Happy Home Paradise, but I did not do her house yet. And I like how her name is Azalea because like she has a little flower design, which I thought was like a fried egg at first. So like the color choices on that flower was not the best. Her catchphrase is merci. The picture that they have here, I guess, of her is so cute. Her arms are behind her back. She's kind of shy. Oh, and her favorite saying is colorful petals, deep roots. So maybe she's trying to say that she's more than just cute, you know, she has some deep roots in her. I respect that. Girl boss energy all 2022, am I right? Her house, on the other hand, is very, like, I get it, like they were using a lot of the items from that came with the update, like, or like the patchwork stuff that I think is from the old game, so they're trying to integrate that in. I don't know, I like the outside of her house, but the fact that she's snooty, it doesn't really match the vibe in her house, because usually the snooty villagers are more refined and like the nicer, finer things in life. So the fact that her house is like a little grandma house is like, okay, interesting. I personally don't think I would have her on my island. I've already had 2 rhinos that were there without my consent. But I guess the reason that like I would consider her is because she's like new and like that nice aqua color. It's kind of cute. But other than that, like, nothing to write home about. Sorry, Iggy Azalea. So as previously stated, I currently have Cephalobot on my island at the time of filming this. Who knows, if he asked to leave, I would, maybe I'd wait to get his picture, but I wouldn't like hold on to him tightly. I like how they expanded the robot villager vibe, clan, gang, squad, whatever you want to call it. There's also Sprocket and Ribbot. Why they don't have any female robots is beyond me. It's 2022, guys, like, come on. No, I'm kidding. He is a smug, which I think is so funny because like a robot, usually robots are like cold and like, or I shouldn't say cold, usually they're like, they don't have any emotions, they're very like logical, and for a robot to be a smug is actually very funny because smugs are very prideful and very all full of their taste, and they talk about their music taste and they know everything about everything, and I just think it's really funny. And he's the only robot that isn't a jock. I would think like a robot would be a cranky villager maybe, but I guess maybe they're gonna make a robot of every personality type. Who knows? Hopefully, I mean, they said they weren't gonna have any more major free updates, but could add some villagers in there. That's not like major, is it? Or like DLC, more DLC with more villagers, like kind of the Sanrio villagers. I don't know. Sorry. His name is a combination, obviously, of like cephalopod and robot. I think it's pretty clever there, Cephalobot. I like his catchphrase is donk donk, but currently he calls me babe because he stole Marshall's catchphrase, which I gave him as a joke and he spread it and everyone calls me babe now, so it's kind of annoying. And his favorite saying thing is take me to your pizza. So does that imply that he's an alien? Who knows? I like his house. I like how the octopus villagers, their houses are very like themed, and he has a play hobby, which he's usually inside of his house on my island, so I have not seen him running around with airplane arms yet, but maybe sometime soon. Okay, so next up is Faith, and she is a sisterly villager. So she was an islander in the Animal Crossing series, and her personality before was normal. I wonder why they changed it. Maybe it's because there's so many normal koala villagers. Okay, I can't complain because my favorite villagers are the cat villagers, and there's so many repeat personalities of them. Her design is questionable to me because it looks like she's in like a koala suit, like the ears are like a hood, because you can see like her hands and her like ankles and feet and her face are like, you know, the beige tanny color, and she has her little bangs, which don't do her any favors. And like she has like a very like, she looks like the Animal Crossing villagers, like the original ones from the first game, except with like a hood with koala ears on. Her catchphrase is aloha, which I think is cute. I don't know if there's any koalas in Hawaii. I get what they're playing on, that whole island gal theme with the hula top and the flower in her hair and the aloha catchphrase. Oh, her saying is never let your mind be what holds you back. Okay, that's cool. gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss it up. But yeah, her design's interesting. Her house is very, like, they could have done better. It's literally just like the outside is cool, like it matches her sunburnt orangey vibe. The fact that it's just like some chairs, doesn't have a bed, just to sleep on beach chairs. Faith, they did you wrong, not only in your design but in your house. You deserve a little bit better, you know. Next up is Fret, and I was surprised to find out that he's a cranky villager. He was in the previous game. His catchphrase is goshers, which is surprising to me because I would assume that like that kind of catchphrase would be tied with like a lazy villager, but there are a couple of lazy dogs, so I guess that's why. His favorite saying is, "I'm in the prime of my life." Now with like the clothes that they give him in New Horizons, I see like it makes sense. He's a cranky, he has like a little flannel on, gives me Nick Offerman vibes of like, I'm a man, I wear flannels and things were good back in my day. That kind of vibe. But he has a music hobby, which I think is really cute. His house is just like a rundown shack, which mood, I guess. His eyes scream pain. Like, is he okay? And then if you take off his eyebrows, he just looks like he's, I don't know, like coked up or something. I wouldn't want him on my island. Not because, you know, like I don't hate him, but I just wouldn't want to be in the same room as him. Next villager is Ioni, and she's someone that I perhaps would take on my island. She is glow in the dark, first of all, so that's like crazy. And her tail kind of gives me like, you know, do you remember in Chowder, the cartoon on Cartoon Network, where like what they would be wearing something and they would move, but like the pattern wouldn't? Like, it's kind of that vibe. I love her little nose, the little heart, and her little outfit is like the Astra dress, so she's like clearly out of this world. Her catchphrase is gleam, and her favorite saying is, I was born under a lucky star, which is very cute. A little bit like self-absorbed, but you know what, if I look like that, I would be too. She is a new villager, and apparently Ioni is, oh, like violet, like the flower, and the name of a nymph in Greek mythology, possibly referencing Ioni's entire space theme. Did not know that. I left all my knowledge of Greek mythology in 8th grade, as it should stay because it gives me no practical direction in my life. Her poster picture is so funny. Has like the wide eyes, sparkly eyes. If they introduced a way to have another island on the same Switch, or if I had a third Switch, which is like, well, technically be a second one because the other one that I have is in mine and I barely play on that island anyways, that's Cat Island. But if I had another one, I would make an island of just sparkly eyed villagers and have like Judy and Ioni and Dom and things like that. She's so cute. I have her on my Happy Home Paradise Island. She and Quinn are roommates because Quinn wanted like a photography studio and Ioni wanted to be a model, and because I'm lazy, I was just like, you know what, I'll group you guys together. Even though the roommate system doesn't really have anything to do with what they want, you can just group whoever together. Her room is interesting to me. It's very like different than I would have expected, but it's kind of funny because she's like, I guess like a streamer, a gamer girl. Her life is in shambles because she has like dishes everywhere, but I think it's realistic and same. And it's very funny. It's like, I think of it in my head like she's an alien who came to Earth, and out of all the things, she chose to be like a streamer. It's kind of funny. Next villager is Marlo, which I also have on my Happy Home Paradise Island. He is so cute. I love the hamster villagers, I gotta say. And the fact that he is a black and white villager, he looks like he came out of a black and white movie. Like, he has the whole mobster vibe going on. His catchphrase is gabish. I just think it's so funny because he's a hamster. Like, what can a hamster do? I don't know if, I think it was in Zootopia where there's like a scene, like a mobster scene, and I think either he's a hamster or a mouse or a rat or something like that. His name comes from Marlon Brando, who obviously was in The Godfather, so that makes sense. I just think the juxtaposition between his, like how cute he is and how small and pudgy he is, and the fact that he's a potential mob boss, crime boss. His favorite saying is, you gotta walk the walk if you're gonna talk the talk. Very on brand. His house is pretty boring, but it makes sense that with like his whole theme. The Happy Home Paradise prompt, it's like a movie thing, like I guess for the fact that his whole personality or like his inspiration comes from a movie, so that makes sense. They should have just given him like, the theme would be like, place where I can tell people what to do. And
Hi, sisters.
now Petra is an interesting villager. she's a new villager. It's interesting how she's a snooty villager. Like I would have thought that she was a normal because normals like to read books. She is a little mouse. Obviously her name is based off of like Petri dish. As a fellow woman in STEM, I would like to have her on my island for a little bit, or you know, happy home paradise, whatever. Her catchphrase is so that's very interesting, very like pensive. Her favorite saying is, our DNA is only the beginning of our story. That is so deep. You know, it's the whole, it brings up the whole nature versus nurture thing. For you to understand that dichotomy that everyone's fighting with in life is who I was born, or where I was born, family I was born to, have as much as an impact as the choices that I make in my life and how I grow up, you know? She definitely thinks those sort of things. Her house is questionable. It looks like she's testing on the lucky cat, which is very ironic because it's like, you know, usually the cats are the one torturing the mice. I like the irony of the little lucky cat floating in that chamber. I didn't even know you could put stuff in that science pod. If I see her on Happy Home Paradise, she's gonna be my doctor. I'm gonna kick out Cephalobot. He's the doctor on my island. I wonder what she looks like without her glasses though. She looks like a lab rat, which is very cruel and ironic. I wouldn't recommend being a white mouse named Petri. Quinn is very interesting. She is a new villager that came out with the 2.0 update. A lot of people say that she's a product of,
we pretend that airplane.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Her catchphrase is proper. I don't know why. I saw her in Happy Home Paradise and I was a little nervous around her. She's definitely the type of goyle that makes you feel insecure about yourself, even though she's not the prettiest villager, I'll have to say. Like, you know, her edgy little bangs on one side, and how she's wearing like a cool button-up kind of thing, and her talons, like the claws, are painted black, so it's definitely like not like other girls vibes. I don't know, they could have done more with her. Her house is kind of cool. It looks like, you know, like a little apartment. Favorite saying, step on a violet and you'll smell forgiveness. I don't want to know what that means, especially because she's a sisterly villagers. I don't know, sisterly villagers and I do not get along. They're very unnecessarily like harsh. I'm not a tough love kind of person. Please speak to me like I'm a baby, thank you. Don't raise your voice at me. It's good to have more female eagles. Yeah, there's literally 2 other female eagles, so that's good. A little female representation in the eagle group. Okay, I always welcome that. Next villager is Rio, and she was an islander from the previous game, and I like her name, how it's a reflection of her being like an island gal.
Mia island gal, pretty island gal, kitty cat me out, you can cut me out.
Or beachy gal from Rio de Janeiro, which is in Brazil. I was there like 2 years ago. Family's Brazilian, so that's cool. Her catchphrase is "Lil Chick," which I think is very funny. I like how she has those little, I don't know, spiky things like Queenie does. A lot of people think they're weird. I think they're funny and cute. I wouldn't take her on my island. I don't need another red peppy villager. Apple reign queen supreme on my island. Her saying is self-care, best care, which we're all into that. Her house is a little too much red for me. Don't invite any of the bull villagers over to her house. They will not have a good time. Break down all her stuff. I think I've seen her on Happy Home Paradise. I did not take her. If anyone has like a colorful theme on their island, or like a red theme, or like, that would be cool. But other than that, like, the colors clash together. I'm not really much of a fan when like put primary colors or like secondary colors all together, like red, green, yellow, blue, all together. Like, it's too much of a contrast between the colors. But her eyeliner and her eyeshadow are good, so she's doing something right. Now, another alien type villager is Roswell, and I always say alien because his catchphrase is space, and like, he looks like an alien. Is a smug villager, but he was a lazy villager in previous games as an islander. His favorite saying is keep your eyes on the sky, and because of his interesting, it's almost like a crop circle type pattern, and his interesting eyes, like, they're definitely alluding to the fact that he could be an alien. Love that for him. I like his little teeth, how they stick up. His house, like, they gave him basically the same house as Zucker, except a little bit different with like new items from the 2.0 update. But I think he's cute. I would not have him on my island. I have too many smugs. I like his color combo. It like reminds me of those Hershey Kisses, the ones that are like white chocolate with with milk chocolate like swirls. Whatever, I'll put a picture. He's like a decent villager, like at least it's creative, you know, it's not just like another normal looking alligator. He's not just another normal looking alligator. Sasha is such a cutie in my opinion. So Sasha is a lazy villager, and I would have imagined him to be a smug villager. His catchphrase is hoppity, which they lost the opportunity of making it something cool. They really made it another bunny themed catchphrase. And his favorite saying is timing is everything. Ooh, his birthday is May 19th, so he's a Taurus, as am I. Okay, maybe I like him a little bit better. His birthday is not too far from mine. He has a fashion hobby. Interesting. Which makes more sense for him to be a smug, because lazies just have crusty clothes. He was introduced in this game, and his house is so cute with like the little stuffed animals playing like a board game. I don't understand the layout, you know, as a, what is it, famous designer, whatever my rank is after you do 30 houses or 40 houses, whatever. My light just turned off. There we go. Let there be light. I have to remember that not everyone, you know, is an amazing, famous, world-renowned designer like I am in Happy Home Paradise. So I have him in Happy Home Paradise. Maybe I'll show you a new video. He wanted like space themed, which is like, what's with these new villagers or their fascination with space? And he would also fit right into Sparkly Island. Sparkly Island? I don't know. Next up is Shino. Miss Ma'am over here took everybody by storm. Like, everyone was villager hunting for Shino. Everybody wants to be Shino. Everyone wants to be with Shino. Everyone wants Shino on their island. I have her house in Happy Home Paradise. I made her roommates with Bella, which is really funny because not a lot of people like Bella and everyone likes Shino. So it's like the popular girl has that one weirdo goth friend. She is another new villager. Her catchphrase is okay with 3 Y's. And I don't know if it's like okay or like okay, but her catchphrase, which makes it very interesting, especially the fact that she has horns. Better the demon you know than the one you do not. Her birthday's on Halloween, which is also my wedding anniversary. So good job, Shino. The one of the only days in the year that's about me. It's also about you. But I guess she didn't choose when she was born, so maybe I should, you know, be a little less harsh. I really like her house. She is slightly scary to me, like the horns and everything like that. But I think that there's definitely some sort of like background into why. Like, she has the makeup she does and the little eyebrows and the horns. Like, she wears the morning glory yukata. I don't know what the background is behind her design. Makes me slightly scared, especially with her little fangs, her little teeth. She's definitely somebody that's like close, but not too close, you know, because you don't want her to steal your man or steal your soul. Next villager is Tianchang. Apparently
Grandpa just gives me a remote after we watch the Powerball.
He's based off of a Chinese novel. Sorry, I just gotta put some lip gloss on because my lip stain just looking musty, crusty, dusty, busted. So there we go. The wet cherry gloss from Lime Crime, if anyone was wondering. Unfortunately, it does taste like cherries, artificial cherries, and I don't like cherries. His catchphrase is woo woo. Again, I don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese, so I cannot speak on if that's significant or not. Favorite saying is, the world is more swole than you will ever fully know. Now, I feel personally, right, tin hats on, that they were just trying to like appeal to the fact that he's a jock, but like kind of make it so that it sounds inspirational, but it literally does not mean anything. He's been in my campsite before and I did not take him. The world is not in need of another jock monkey. His house is kind of cool, like it's like a little kitchen. So he's there chefing it up. We all know, like, we love a man who could cook. At least he can bring something to the table, no pun intended. But I think it's cool that they integrate other cultures into the villager types. And if they bring out new villagers, it'll be interesting to see that kind of international villagers. Last but not least, just what the world needed, another normal anteater. There is one other normal anteater, Annalisa. But there's not that many anteaters. Like, I don't think there's an anteater for every, I mean, there's no sisterly anteater. There is no lazy anteater. But okay, so she has that kind of similar thing that Faith has going on, where their face and their arms, or like their hands and their feet are, she like could be a human in a costume. It's slightly unsettling. But for her, it's not, she doesn't look as human in her, obviously her snout and her eyes. She has a little ginger widow speak. I have one too. But do not perceive my roots. Like, if you did, like, I'm sorry. like you're just making things up. I'm not even gaslighting you. Like, my roots do not exist. They're not dark. They're blonde right now, or gray, whatever this color is. I don't know what this is. She's from the previous game. Her old catchphrase is whiff, which I think would make more sense as an anteater. She's, you know, sniffing a lot, but now it's Zoozuru. I don't know why. She has the education hobby. It's such a normal villager thing. I think it's really cute. Her favorite saying is, don't sign until you've read the whole thing. And that's a very normal villager type of vibe. Like, stay with me for a second. Have you ever seen like the Hallmark movies where there's like the girls who like care too much about work and work too hard and all this stuff and want to be perfect, and then like they never let loose? Like, that's the kind of vibe that I get from normal villagers. Like, they're always slightly unhinged, and if you say the wrong thing to them, you can definitely like set them off. I think I can relate to that a lot, actually. I guess I'm a normal villager, okay? Her house is very cute, very woodsy, like ranch vibes, very grandma, like normal villager kind of thing. I like the outside, how the little teal roof kind of reflects like her bright, she has like a brighter, more minty teal color, but I like it. I think she's cute. I've seen her on Happy Home Paradise. I will see her again because I've seen a lot of repeat villagers on Happy Home Paradise. So maybe I'll add her. If she's calm, I'll add her to the tally. But out of all the anteaters, she's definitely one that sticks out for me. Not just because she's a bright color, but you know, I think I like her design the best out of all the anteaters. And those were all 16 of the Animal Crossing villagers and how I felt about them. There are some that I could do without, that I think a lot of people could do without, and then there's some that were very popular. Like we saw the thing that happened with like Raymond and Judy, like in the beginning. But at least we have their amiibos now. Their amiibos came out at the same time as like Raymond's and stuff like that. At least they're accessible now. And with Happy Home Paradise, you can see them more. So it's like a cool thing. And like when I see them, I almost feel like they're like a little celebrity, because it's like, wow, you're one of the new villagers. I would not take any of them over my, you know, classic favorite villagers like Apple or Cranston. Something I will commend Nintendo for is that a lot of the new villagers, not all of them, have very non-conventional designs, very creative like themes, and there's like lore behind their name and their designs and stuff like that. Good on them. I think if they introduce any new villagers into the game, I think they should keep going down this path. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was fun to make. I love making these videos where I get to basically like smack talk pixels for a good amount of time. Let me know in the comments if you have any of the new villagers and how you feel about them, if there are any that like you would definitely want on your island, and which ones you want to stay clear away from, which for me it would definitely be Shino, because I'm scared of her. Just leave a like if you liked it, and possibly subscribe, because I make mostly Animal Crossing content. So if you like Animal Crossing, here is a, you know, you just might as well subscribe, you know, like, because like I like it and you like it, so like you have to subscribe now. Okay, I'm gonna go and play with Chickpea, take my makeup off, and play Animal Crossing.